The coffee cake that ruined Christmas. I'll never forget that Christmas Eve long, long ago. It was crisp and bitterly cold outside, and a fresh blanket of snow glittered like rock candy under the moonlight. The children had long since fallen asleep, their stockings hanging limp against the mantel. The traditional glass of milk was set out, awaiting Santa's arrival, along with a wedge of chocolatey, cinnamony coffee cake, and of course, carrots for the reindeer. I climbed into my feather bed, burying myself under the thick comforter, and fell asleep, thinking of Christmas bows and jingle bells. Suddenly, I felt a tap on my shoulder, and there was Santa Claus, clearing his throat. "Excuse me, madam," he said. "You wouldn't by chance have any more of that delicious coffee cake, would you?" "A pot of coffee would taste pretty good right now, too," he said, eyes twinkling. Bemused, I joined him at the breakfast table and carved him another piece. The next thing I know, he's loosening his suspenders and getting all comfortable in the chair, sipping coffee and whittling away at my cake. "Just one more slice," he kept saying, his beard filling with crumbs. Hours passed. The reindeer started pounding on the windows. Through a frosted pane, I spotted Rudolph, angrily tapping his watch. But it was too late. And that was the Christmas long, long ago that none of the little children in the world got their presents delivered. Would you like the recipe? There's a reason why every Christmas morning we have this coffee cake, and we have for many, many years. It's a family tradition. It's because, unlike a lot of coffee cakes, it's not dry at all. It's very moist. And my family also loves the combination of chocolate and cinnamon. So we're going to start by making the filling. 4 things go into the filling. I've got 6 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and 1 cup of chopped walnuts. So you just mix all that together. And actually this goes in the middle of the coffee cake, and it goes on the top as well. All right, and I'm just going to set this aside, and I'm going to come over here and make the cake part. This sort of looks like a lot of ingredients here, but if you prep ahead of time and just lay everything out, it goes very quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is cream together 1 stick of butter and 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Now I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I'm just going to put it right through the feed tube. Then I'm going to start the motor again, and I'm going to add 3 eggs, 1 at a time. Okay, next we mix our dry ingredients together. I have 2 cups of flour. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Baking powder. I always get those 2 mixed up. And 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And then just a dash of salt, maybe about 1/8 of a teaspoon. So we're going to mix that up. Okay, now this is 1 cup of sour cream. I'm going to add about half of that and half of the flour mixture. We'll mix that together. And repeat. This just sort of guarantees, when you do it in stages like this, that everything is blended really nicely and you won't find any chunks of dry ingredient in the middle of everything. Now, one more step. I'm going to first scrape the sides a little bit, and then add about 3/4 of a cup of chocolate chips, semi-sweet. We'll fold those in very quickly. There we go. Okay, I have buttered an Angel Food cake pan. You can also use a bundt cake pan for this. So I'm going to come over and get my batter. And about half of this goes in the bottom. There we go. And now, half of the filling mixture. Actually, this is easier to do with your hands because you can kind of sprinkle it in. And then the rest of the batter on top. Spread that around. And by the way, you know what my family loves to have this with on Christmas morning? We've always called it coffee nog. You know, that once-a-year eggnog drink. Cup of coffee with a splash of eggnog in it and a piece of this. That's Christmas morning. And then the rest of this mixture goes on top. Oh my gosh, I can practically taste this already. There we go. Quick hand wash. And I'm going to put this in a 350-degree oven for about 50 minutes. Okay, she's done. So we're just going to let her cool down. This has to be the best coffee cake ever.